What's up, Lorehounds? It's Cooper here. I'm here with John Carnes of Kixeye. We're actually talking about TOME, a browser-based MOBA.
That's right.
So you guys are actually, like, I just played a game, kind of crushed it, but it was against bots. We'll let it go. And I didn't notice I was in a browser at all. So you guys are actually doing something a little different. It's not Flash. It's something very awesome, the Unity engine. So how long did it take to actually start getting that technology to be that smooth and seamless?
It was kind of interesting because we did start in Flash, but the transition over has been about, I would say, about a year and a half. But once we started working in Unity, things really started coming together.
So TOME right now, it's it's the MOBA you would expect. We're laning, we're bot pushing. We got actually 4 different major class types. So what are those? It's not just a holy trinity.
Sure, sure. So in our game, we have tanks, and that's pretty straightforward, what you would expect from a tank. Slayers, our characters are called Guardians, and Slayers are good at slaying other Guardians. Tacticians is kind of what you would expect for maybe a support role, but they're also about area control as well. So you're going to see a lot of slows, you're going to see basically a lot of crowd control. Now the 4th type is called a pusher. Our game is a little bit more objective-based, and our minions are certainly a hell of a lot more beefier than you would expect to see in other MOBAs. So pushers are good at dealing with that. Lots of AE damage, clearing the path so that you can get at those objectives.
So your support class also seems a little different than a typical notion of support, where it tends to be heavy on healing or buffing.
Yeah.
You guys are also adding the crowd control aspect to support. So does that make them more important for initiating team fights, like having the support there to slow or disable?
No, that's a good question. Each of our 4 classes brings something to the table in regards to team fight composition. In the sense of the tactician, they're not necessary to start a fight, but with a tactician present, you get to dictate what the environment is.
And let's talk a little bit about the meta, because that actually gets into the Guardians as well, where there's not only your personal level, but also leveling the Guardians.
Yeah. So Guardians themselves have XP. So as you play with a Guardian, that Guardian earns XP. And along the way, you'll unlock some aesthetics, such as a dance. We give you a little bit of devotion right out of the gate, so you got to earn the dance, and the dances are pretty good. But at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, is what we call an ascended skin. So you earn, and it's the only way to get these skins, which is basically a tricked out version of the standard look of the Guardian. Lots of bling, lots of gold, and you can only earn those. You can't buy that skin. But wedged in there are what we call, for the Guardian specifically, relics. As you earn a relic, which are, again, specific to the Guardian, it modifies those abilities that the Guardian inherently has. So it gives the player some flexibility of, like, for example, one of our Guardians is Oberon. And Oberon is a healer by nature, but he can turn his heal also into a direct damage burst. So that gives some flexibility that players earn along the way, and you earn those by playing those Guardians.
That's actually an unlock as you level up with that character.
That's absolutely right. And also we have domains. So a little bit of the flavor of the world. The Mediator controlled the world of TOME. Mediator's gone. Now the 6 remaining gods of the world are fighting to become the new Mediator. So as you play, each of our Guardians falls within a domain. We have the 4 standard elements: earth, fire, air, and water. We also have creation and death. As you earn favor with those gods, you unlock blessings. And blessings are more straightforward, passive style abilities that are all in flavor. But once you unlock a blessing, you can use it on any Guardian that you want. And that, again, with 1 relic and 2 blessings per Guardian, it gives you flexibility as to tricking out a Guardian the way you want to play it. But again, all of those are earned. Now, you can accelerate that by purchasing premium, which increases the rate at which you earn devotion, which is our soft currency, Guardian XP, and domain favor at a rate of 50%. But again, you can convenience and customization. That's what our game's about. You can start and never spend a dime and get all the Guardians and unlock all these things.
Just the cosmetics and the
Yeah.
So we're actually very early closed beta. There's about a dozen gods or Guardians out right now.
19 Guardians are
19
live.
Guardians?
Yeah, we got about 8 or 9 currently in flight.
Okay. So we actually have some closed beta keys to give away. We'll be hitting you with those. But are we expecting any time frame, any amount of Guardians that's kind of the magical number, anything that we can, put on our calendar?
Yeah, no Guardians that are, no amount of Guardians that are the magic number, but right now 19 isn't that number. We definitely want to get some more out. Once, I would be, again, we don't necessarily have a date, and I don't necessarily want to, float an imaginary date out there, but really, With the impact that we've had here at PAX and the feedback that we've gotten, we're taking back a lot of data. I'd be really surprised if we don't drop the beta moniker by middle of next year, right? But at least at this point right now, we feel like we're close. We've definitely got some polish to address. Like some of the features that I've talked about, such as quests and whatnot, those have to come into play. So we're definitely a ways out, but not that far out. I don't know if I can be more ambiguous than that.
Close, but not there. Is there anything else expected before that time frame, like the 5v5 map or a different game mode?
Yeah. I would definitely expect the 5v5 to come out, and we've got some different ideas on challenging the notion of what a 5v5 map should look like. So we're definitely in development on that. I would expect to see that probably within a couple months. And we'll definitely, not to predict, and again, never say never, but we'll definitely have that 5v5 in place before we would drop beta. We might even have a special surprise on top of that as far as like a larger scale map for players to engage in. So, yeah.
A raid in MOBAs.
Yeah. Could very well say that.
Interesting. All right, so Kixeye coming out with Tome, very polished. Didn't know it was in a browser at all. Of course, mouse keyboard helps. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.